Alright. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our first week of Survivor Australia versus the World podcast. I'm your host, Civilian Arc. Join me on this one is going to be the same people. We got Angie, our local Australian, Siren, our local Tommy twin, and we have the Greek god of Survivor joining us today, E.G.
Hello.
Civ, I have to say it's pronounced Tomney.
Oh, true.
Stop.
The meme must live on. Called my autocorrect, where I can't spell their name.
I think it's called Screwed.
Yeah, I think it's called Cooked.
My statement to the Australia versus the World casting department is this. Why did you put Parvati on a tribe with Suri and two other women? Where did you expect this to go?
Real. Alright, so we just finished up, or the few days we finished up our first week of Survivor Australia versus the World, and it was a very huge week for the Survivor community. We got a ton of content out of these last 3 episodes. A lot of stuff went down in each episode, and we're going to go over what we saw, our thoughts on it, and what we think will go out in future content for that. So, yeah. And if you weren't able to check out our first actual podcast of this, which is our preseason cast analysis, I'll be sure to put that in the description for you guys to see as well. So, our first episode started off with actually a very good promo. The promotional intro was incredible. We got to see almost every single player get their, personal confessional, aside from 2. And then we got the immunity challenge, which, honestly, the way they did the matchups...
Reward.
Reward challenge, my bad. The way they did that reward challenge, it almost felt like a dream, Seeing, the 2, international titans, David and Rob, go head-to-head to start was very, as someone who's watched Survivor Island of Secrets, that was crazy to see. And
yeah,
also you go ahead.
And also the fact that David and Rob straight away had a chat. It really set the pace of the game. It's like the first scene where you have people interacting, and straight away you have David going for a cross-tribal alliance. So it really showed us how quick the strategy is going to be with the 16 days, and with the caliber of players.
It kind of makes me think of something. I'll say a joke later, but cross-tribal talk went really well for players this season. Yeah, the track record totally shows that.
Yes, I was going to mention that. I think it's funny, with things that are going to come later within that season.
Yeah. So also, I think we should mention, well, technically this isn't a first because this happened in United States Heroes versus Villains, but we got our first, one of our first Suri challenge wins when she beat, when she won the reward challenge one-on-one she had. We did see Suri also win that sumo challenge in Heroes versus Villains against I think it was Jerry or Danielle.
Yeah. Is it weird? I think this one was way more impressive because as much as I think Suri is a good strategical player, I didn't expect for Suri to be able to keep up at all this season. And I'm gonna say this is a little spoilerly. I don't think she's been behind in any of the challenges, which is kind of shocking.
She hasn't been that bad.
Yeah, she's held around.
She's pretty good.
Yeah, she's
we
We'll
got
go-
we got a George challenge win as well.
Yeah.
We did.
And my friend literally joked about that.
Yeah, so a lot of the big names that are known for not winning a ton of challenges are actually doing pretty decent so far. So, yeah, very fun reward challenge, and we got our first main character within that challenge, or in the big main character of the week, which I think we can all agree is that big box. That big box is just such a pivotal moment for Survivor because it's the first time that the Americans get to witness an idol being in the podium.
Yeah,
That's true.
You
it's
know,
gonna be hectic.
all I'm gonna say is that Adam would be proud.
You would. Now this was a thing in Survivor South Africa, which is a pretty fun. That was a pretty fun season where it happened. So
You think the guy from South Africa would have immediately tried it, am I right?
It
yeah,
was also a thing in Blood versus Water, and like no one from the world, Australia versus the world, was on that season. So, and I remember it being so goofy when it happened.
yeah. So into tribe dynamics, we first saw the world players at the beach, and immediately it started a big divide between the United States players and the other players. Mainly self-centered by Rob, who ostracized namely Parvati and Suri. But they did manage to grab in Lisa to potentially join like a 3-person alliance. And so that was pretty much how that started between them. And then for the Aussie tribe, a lot of it was mainly George kind of getting ostracized by everyone. He was trying to make inroads with Shawnee, trying to make inroads with David, and just nothing really seemed to work out for George. Thankfully, his tribe did win immunity, and even though he did survive the first tribal council, I think if they did lose that first immunity challenge, George probably goes that tribal council because I feel like just the George is still fresh in everyone's mind at that point, and David hasn't fully sucked his fangs into the other Aussie tribe players. So, what were your guys' thoughts on the camp events that were going on this episode?
Mm.
I think, and this is just how I feel about it. This really cemented to me, and I will be very shocked if this changes, that Parvati is supposed to be a main character. Parvati got such an insane amount of emphasis from this single episode.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I don't
I think
I've
they
ever
also
seen like a more
kind of
perfect premiere edit
put an emphasis
for
on
anyone.
Suri by doing that. I can't tell what they're doing with Suri. They don't give Suri a promo, but then they give her what I would consider a good amount of screen time for the episode because she's with Parvati and like showing how Lisa is fangirling on her, and I'm like, I think they're trying to prepare us for what they show us in episode 2 and 3 with what's going on that tribe. But I mean, at least like when it came to the world tribe, it seemed like the internationals were just not going to hold together.
No,
No.
I think the big thing between the internationals at this point, just the fact that they didn't have as much, like obviously correlation with each other. Like, yeah, Suri and Parvati were never close to Tony, but really, you didn't really need Tony. Tony's just a Tony's just a distant third wheel. All you really need is Parvati and Suri, and that is kind of enough to break up that whole like alliance that was going. I don't even think it was an alliance necessarily. I think they were just like weighing in the
Watched
idea.
into it, I guess.
Yeah, like, and maybe the edit didn't show it, but Rob, it just seemed like Rob was kind of pushing the idea.
Yeah.
And the main thing that we got out of it was Parvati leaking the Deal or No Deal Island duo she had with David, which for anyone who's watched Deal or No Deal Island season 2, I'm sure you're glad you did your homework on that season so you could
Yeah,
see the
100%.
first week.
And for anyone who hasn't seen it, go watch it immediately. It's one of the best reality show seasons of all time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go watch it.
Yeah.
I
Watch it now. Get off this podcast and watch the whole entire Deal or No Deal season 2.
one of the wildest call outs ever. I think it's insane that we live in a world where we're having an international Survivor season, that they're talking about a freaking Deal or No Deal Island season on, and it's actually relevant.
Yeah. It was a very funny event that was going on. So other than that, we also got
Imagine people in like 10 years when they're binging through the Survivor seasons and they get to Australia versus the world, and you have these like Reddit threads and everybody says you have to watch Deal or No Deal Island season 2. What's going to be
Yeah.
going through their heads? What the fuck is this?
I mean, I will say this. I think everyone is in agreement with this. I actually think that Rob shouldn't have been international strong. I'm gonna say that. I understand like his like theory on that and how it was simple, but I feel like maybe he should have tried to go the winner strong route instead.
Look, when Parvati said it was her birthday, I thought Parvati was going home at first. And then when Rob was like, "Oh, it's a simple vote for Zulu King and like all the innocent nationals," I knew, I like flat out knew it was going to be Rob going, which we'll get to later. But yeah, that's kind of like what I hinted at for this one. I think that was like the most obvious hint that I got within this week, other than a fairly more obvious one down the line. But like we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Imagine having an alliance meeting out of the water that the other three clearly are on the edge of having, and then you're like, I'm gonna invite one of our enemies to be a fifth.
And that's the thing
Yeah,
is
the
like
whole Rob Parvati dynamic was really weird. Like you can tell that they tried to work together, but it was just never gonna happen. And the whole
Yeah.
scene where they were kind of flirting was kind of funny, but yeah, it was never gonna be an alliance.
Yeah, I think
I
the
think
big
both of them knew they were fucking with each other.
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, like, Parvati clearly was trying. I think they both actually wanted to work together, and Rob just got big move-itis times 10. That is genuinely how I feel about it. I think Rob was clearly trying, and it's just, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Rob got on the island and short-circuited. That is the best way to describe it.
I think the best way of describing Rob for this season, because a lot of people haven't watched Rob's season, but I think Rob is very comparative to JT, because many people consider Rob's win a very generational win, a very incredible win, kind of similar to JT. And also similar to JT is that they kind of play very ballsy post-win. And I think that's what this is just Rob kind of just playing with house money this season.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that point of view. Because, like, he was clearly there to have fun and just play balls to the wall. And I mean, all I'm gonna say is thank you, Rob. You probably burned Tommy and Tony's game in the process in like 2 days.
Here's the thing, though. I think Rob had the right idea in trying to get rid of Parvati or Suri. It's obvious, but it's the closest connection anybody has to anybody on the World Tribe.
No,
I feel like that's
he had,
something that
yeah,
he
he
had the
had the
right
right.
idea, but the execution sucked.
Yeah, like great concept, bad execution.
Yeah, no, like it was a really good concept. I also feel like maybe a hot take. I don't think it mattered how well he tried. I always think Lisa stops them. Genuinely. I don't think
Yeah.
there was a world where it was working.
Lisa wanted to work with Suri way too much to go with Rob in that first vote.
My
Like-
theory, I think my suggestion would have been this, and what I think should have happened is that while Rob is pushing this anti-America thing, don't try to get close to Parvati, because Parvati's not the person you should get close to. Get close with Tony, because
Yeah,
that is a good backup ally to have. Tony is a very good, because Tony's already on the block. He's a 2-time winner. He's known for being very erratic. So don't push him away. Try to grab him as an ally, because if he gets voted out, then that's no hair off your back, because he was always a big name. But if he does stick with you, then that's huge for your game, I think.
I mean, I don't know if I think everyone caught this. Tony was very clearly annoyed with having to get rid of Rob at the start. I think Tony really wanted to work with Rob. Because I think Tony realized what was going to happen the moment Rob left.
Yeah. It did seem like he kind of had a theory on what was going on. So I think Rob didn't have a bad idea going after Parversary, but he was just too narrow-minded on what was going on.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
whole
I mean-
dictating everyone. I don't know. Did he play like that in South Africa?
Not really, no. I mean, he was strong-arming Merge, but he wasn't like outwardly the dictator. He did have people, like, he didn't try to dictate anyone's game. He analyzed what the minority was doing, and he managed to counteract every single move the minority made. And when people did finally flip on him, he had people who were loyal enough to work with him. I think that's kind of the problem Rob had, is that Rob wanted to have that same amount of loyalty in shorter amount of time.
yeah.
And also with players who will read into that bullshit
Yeah,
and will
yeah.
not try to be loyal.
I mean, the thing is like, I think what ended up happening at the end of the day is that Parvati and Suri sold a better reason why they should stay to the other two girls. Because honestly, I don't think Tommy was okay with that vote either. Tommy and Tony very clearly were annoyed with that first vote. At least Tony. By like the look on their faces when they were voting.
Because it did seem like after Tony heard about the Dondi stuff, he was like maybe considering flipping, but it was just, I think everyone else was just so deadlocked on Rob that he didn't really have a choice in the matter.
I will say, I want to get people's opinion on this. Do people actually think Suri would have flipped on Parvati right there if they told her to?
Oh no.
No.
No way.
I mean,
Here's the
like, she
thing.
goes.
I think the theory that I agree with, that I saw online, is that Suri knew about Dondi and just didn't say anything.
I think it would be a bit hypocritical if Cerise flipped because Cerise been on other shows too.
It's
Probably not with
It's
other
not
players,
Parvati
but
being on
like,
another show. It's not Parvati being on another show. It's that Parvati was on another show with David.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, true.
Yeah, I think
But
that's the big
I
point
don't
of
think she'd
contention.
give a shit. I don't think Parvati
Yeah.
would flip to David per se.
Realistically,
It's between Suri and David.
Suri keeping Parvati is a good thing because
Also,
you
why
have
would
either-
Suri not work with David anyway?
Yeah,
No, I mean, like, I do agree. It's just Suri did stand up in the middle of Tribal and like go to like the international girls and basically, I think Suri was asking like, "Hey, we're actually gonna stick together, right?" Because I don't think Suri
Yeah.
was like flipping on Parvati, but I think Suri was willing to vote Parvati if all the votes were going there. So
Yeah,
that Suri
so
wasn't
it's
down.
Suri would kick anyone down a float if she had no other option. But I think in terms of like if she had that option, Rob is just too much of an anti-America to keep
Yeah.
around, whereas you have an easy number one ally.
Yeah,
And like Suri
I'm-
knew what was up with Rob, so like obviously she wasn't gonna fall for his bullshit.
yeah. I mean, I feel like the perfect way to sum up the world's tribal, though, we'll talk about them a little bit more due to the box. But I feel like the perfect way to sum it up is Parvati and Suri are there. There are 4 women. Math.
Yeah.
Go math.
I will say, I think one thing Rob could have done to help himself is instead of dropping the Dondi bomb at Tribal, go to the international players during the scramble and talk about Dondi and not give Parvati a chance to defend herself.
Yeah,
Maybe that could have swayed the internationals.
I do want to.
No, we
I do want to bring up, and I do agree with Yuji's point, but I think it is because Parvati did defend herself really well. Because one, nobody watched Dondi at that point because Dondi was not aired yet. So Parvati could make up whatever she wanted. Because
Exactly.
if you look at what she said back in Tribal, she technically lied because she said
Yeah,
the
she
word
said that David betrayed her.
Yeah, she says David betrayed her. David absolutely did not betray her. And Parvati even pretty much told David to put her up for nomination.
Parvati could have said she was the first boot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be my statement. I don't know why Rob. I think Rob made it worse for himself when he said it at Tribal. I don't know what that man was thinking. Because you look at your allies, it's like, oh yeah, I had this secret. That's why I wanted Parvati as the 5th. Because Parvati was loyal to me. Not to y'all, to me. More reason to vote me out, guys. Here you go.
Yeah, that's also a good point. So, all right. So that's a lot of what went down in this episode. Anything else we want to clear for episode 1? All right.
I mean, maybe talk about Australia a bit, or do we go to episode 2 for that?
I feel like a lot of Australia content is worth keeping till episode 2.
Yeah.
I will say, David killed it. David deserves props for that one
In the
challenge.
challenge, yeah.
Yeah.
He was prepared to carry the world on his back like he was that Golden Globe man. No wonder he's the Golden God.
Rob carrying his family literally on his back. G Redemption Island reference.
I got it.
Oh wow.
I mean, look, Parvati is so against Rob, I believe. I don't think this is a coincidence. I think Robs of the world need to stop going after Parvati. It's a
Yeah.
fact.
He outplaced Rob in Winners at War 2, so technically
Yeah.
3-0.
And HPV, so yeah, 3-0. Yeah.
Actually, no. Parvati and Rob had the same placing in Winners at War because of the Edge of Extinction.
Okay, we're
They
not
were
gonna
both
talk.
eliminated in the second challenge.
Oh
No.
boy.
No, stop with the. Look, if I see Edge of Extinction again on a season, I'm throwing hands with someone.
Oh man, that's
I,
what's gonna happen for the Joint Tribal Council.
okay, I'll be real. I think it would be interesting if they have like a duel or something, because you guys were talking about that. I think that's fine. I think that's different.
I'll talk
Bruce
about
just realized that he hasn't watched all of Australian Survivor yet, and there could be an Edge of Extinction in any one of the seasons.
yeah.
You know, okay, if there's an Edge of Extinction on a season, it can't go to Final Five, right? Right?
I will say that. No, it doesn't.
That's completely.
Yeah.
I'm fine as long as it's a reasonable number.
It's like 3 episodes long.
Oh, that's completely fine. Yeah, I don't mind Edge of Extinction if it's like pre-merger, like
Oh, I think
only
I know what
merge.
Luigi's talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
He's talking.
episode 2. Let's talk
Alright.
about Australia because
Episode Episode 2 is probably, in my opinion, a top 10 Australian Survivor episode because holy shit. So absolutely everything that you could possibly imagine goes down in the Australian tribe.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone is working everyone. Kirby is playing David. David is playing George. George is playing Shawnee. Shawnee is playing George. Luke is playing George. Sarah is playing David. It is an
Sarah's
absolute.
playing Sarah.
Sarah is playing Sarah.
David is being forced to go in the water to talk to the princess.
Oh yeah.
David gave the most
That
legendary
was
confession
one of
imaginable.
the most epic moments
That was
in the history of the show, I think.
That is the funniest confessional I will ever see.
We do start off the episode with Luke finding the idol, and I think Luke was the perfect person to find that idol because Luke's never really a main target, but he's also always, out there as a potential vote. So I think Luke was the perfect person to find that idol because with Luke,
Yeah.
he's definitely one of the more focused players on the Australia tribe. Like Siren did miss this talk about Luke, but Luke pretty much controlled an entire Final Five vote in a 2-to-1-to-1 vote. So Luke is actually a complex brain and Survivor. He is one of the smartest players in the game.
I feel like I could tell from the start because how do I put this? Just from watching the episodes that he's in, although you wouldn't consider him in the majority in quotation marks, the majority clearly respects Luke. They're not really trying to go against Luke. He just happens to not be with them because
Yeah, he
of
just like
friendships.
exists.
Yeah, I think there
And
is
there's
potential for
there's
Luke
other
to-
people on the bottom more than he is. The opposition are like more focused on like other targets than Luke.
And like to be fair, I think that I'm putting a May around this. Janine is the most confusing player for me to figure out this season, I won't lie.
No, that's Sarah. For me. I can't
Sarah.
pick her brain.
Okay, wait, no, it is Sarah. But Sarah at least has an edit, so I can be like, you're just a bad player. With Janine, it's, do they like you? Do they not? I don't get it.
Yeah, Janine is kind of a invisible player this season, which I did kind of expect to see.
I mean,
Unfortunately, the godmother just isn't really godmothering this season.
okay, to be fair, she did have, I would consider, a moment in episode 3.
Yeah, she had a moment,
Yeah, with
and we'll get to that.
telling Luke to
I mean,
Yeah, we'll
like,
get there.
she also, like, went up to Kirby and, like, Sarah, who were clearly good with the player, and they let her do that, so, maybe
Maybe
she's
she is
better off.
godmothering.
Yeah.
So, so the big narrative of this episode was Kirby noticing the player David pretty much having his hands in everyone else's cookie jar. He was charming everyone, and the only two people that weren't buying into it was Kirby and George. So Kirby pretty much put a whole attempted blindside on David. I say attempted because I don't want to say David didn't see it coming, but he knew that votes were going his way. So when they lost immunity, who leaked first? Was it Sarah or George? I think it was George.
I will say because we're probably never gonna talk about World in this episode. I will
Yeah.
say shout out to Tony for the immunity challenge. Tony
Oh,
pretty
Oh,
much
hell
won
yeah.
it on his own.
I mean, I'm gonna say shout out to Tony and Tommy.
Of course you are. Of course you are,
Yeah,
Tyron.
I feel like Tony is the biggest shout out.
Tony is the
Tony
shout out.
proved that they didn't need Rob.
Yeah, exactly, because like I think that was on everyone's mind when they went into
Hmm.
this challenges. Are they just fucked?
I think that was also. I don't think that was I don't think that was a reason they targeted David, but I also think that, with Rob gone, they had more leeway voting out David because it was like, okay, the big man was gone. We can
I mean,
slit David's throat and not really feel bad about it because
to be
the other
fair-
big guy's gone too.
to be fair, they do have Luke, who
Yeah.
I would consider not as strong as David, but like he can take that place. Like
Luke's
the
more
world-
of a well-rounded comper. David's kind of just brute strength a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke
I mean-
basically had the original immunity run, I think, in
Yes.
Champions Contenders 2.
David
Yeah.
didn't have that in All Stars. That was Brooke.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the best way to describe episode 2 is that it's a flame out due to arrogance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I feel like is ironic after he had an entire confessional about having to beg.
Which is funny because the comp right beforehand was him feeling so humiliated going out to Kirby in the water. I, the golden god, have to go and walk up to her, just swimming in the water.
I'm gonna say this right now though, and this is shown more in episode like 3, and the after credit scene of episode 3. But I think Sarah chose the wrong side, and I'm gonna stand by that take. I think
Yeah.
David was an idiot, but Sarah was a bigger idiot because you have an
They're all
ally
idiots.
who tells you before tribal that you're gonna get George, which was the best vote for Sarah. Because like George is doing nothing for you. George is doing nothing for anyone. It's George. He's not socially aware. And then during tribal, Kirby's just like, remember that plan I told you about? Fuck your plan. Like the most disrespectful.
And also the thing is with Sarah, she says she wants to play a loyal game, right? She wants to change her ways and be loyal. Who better to stay fucking loyal to than the person you're friends with for more than 10 years?
You
The person you literally got into.
Her first act as a loyal game player is to betray a real life friend of over 10 years.
Sarah's literally the reason David got onto Survivor. Like, bro.
And now she's the reason he got out of Survivor.
And got the hosting gig. Maybe that was the plan all along.
You know- I mean, look, right? This is just how I feel about Sarah, and she doesn't want to play a truthful game. She just doesn't want to have a backbone. That's how I feel about Sarah. Sarah doesn't have
Sarah
a
had a lot
backbone.
more backbone in 2017 than she does. Like, it's like she got rid of it. Like, her spine just got, like,
Like
it's gone.
I am saying this as much as I like Kirby, but this is clearly not a good relationship for you, Sarah. Kirby is giving you every reason to jump ship. She is not being loyal to you or your interest or anything that you say to her. Jump ship. You don't.
I think we should make a podcast purely on just Siren watching Sarah play this entire season.
I
Yeah.
told Sarah.
Just like a
Like-
Siren reacts to Sarah collect
I-
Australian versus World.
I
Steve,
feel
are your
like-
DMs still open after watching these episodes?
Yeah.
To Sarah?
Oh, not for Sarah. No, definitely not.
No, it's just
I'm worried she might betray me, guys.
look. The
I mean,
thing.
Sarah's with a man already. She was on my feed earlier today, and like she was in London with like her boyfriend or something.
It's just, yeah. I mean, the Australia tribe to me. I'm not gonna say the second episode was weird, but it was weird. I truly think the only. I'm honestly kind of shocked Luke didn't stop David from doing this. Everyone did something stupid, so that's how I feel about it. I think the only player that didn't do anything stupid was like Shani. That was it.
Maybe Shawnee?
Yeah,
I didn't do anything stupid.
Shawnee
Yeah,
didn't do
Shawnee.
anything.
stupid. Because I feel like Kirby pulling that on Sarah should have backed.
The thing is, Shawnee didn't do anything stupid, but Shawnee should have gone that episode.
That's I think that's something we should talk about. Is that if David just went on Shawnee goes, and David pretty much has the entire Australian tribe with him.
David is just arrogant and is an idiot.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's arrogance per se. I just
Yeah, I
think
don't
that
think arrogance is the right word.
George and David specifically had an ego battle this season, and all they focused on was outplacing each other.
It's like
Yeah.
it's like if
Because we
Boston-
see this in episode 3 as well. George
It's-
goes, and all he says in the post-credit scene is, "I outplaced the Golden God."
yeah,
That
it's
and he got eliminated on his 100th day.
I mean,
it's like the United States equivalent of like if Parvati formed the Black Widow Brigade and Heroes versus Villains, and Russell and Boston Rob had to work together, but they still hated each other.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, and I'm gonna say this, George, to his credit, and I think this can't be. This is the only thing.
going to disagree with this.
George is the only. This is the only thing he does right. The entire season is he recognized that it was better for him to work with Dave.
Yeah,
The only thing.
because George
I-
does try to work with David at the end, right? Like,
Yeah.
He does.
He's
George has the
open-
right idea, but again, he's so bad socially that nobody's going to go with him.
I mean,
Yeah.
But the thing is if David was smart and they vote out Shani, he's kind of forced to go with George at that point.
Yeah.
You're not.
No, he's
you're
not.
not gonna. You're not gonna let Kirby live after all that shit. Are you stupid?
I mean, worst case scenario.
You're not gonna let George live too long, though.
Yeah, but
You
I mean,
don't
like
know-
you would get rid of Kirby first, is what I'm saying. George gets one more round.
George is openly digging his grave. Regardless of what happens, George is continuously digging his grave. He's
Oh
my
already
God.
killed himself,
I
and he's on
can't-
borrowed time.
I
The
cannot
fucking
fathom how
speech
he
in episode
threw.
3. Oh my god.
What was that, Angie?
I cannot fathom how he threw Kirby's name like under the bus in front of David. Like, what the fuck was that?
Oh my! We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah,
George literally right in front of Kirby said Kirby flipped on David.
That is honestly, I'm sort of amazed that this is what should have realistically happened. So that should have happened, and the moment David started walking away, Kirby should have just walked up to David and said, "Fuck it, truce." That should have immediately
Truce,
gotten
George.
them. Like genuinely, I'm amazed it didn't. Like that is George did that technically twice this season. Episode 3 challenge, go Burr. That was the worst challenge, by the way, in my opinion. I kind of didn't like that challenge. I won't lie.
And so
I can't wait till you see it in 2017 and Heroes versus Villains. You're gonna see that challenge. Champions versus Contenders 1, I'm pretty sure is on as well.
It's
I mean, like-
probably- there's a lot of good endurance pre-merge competitions. I do think that's one of the weaker ones. My favorite one is like Titans versus Rebels Final 17, I believe, or Final
The only
18.
reason I enjoyed the challenge is because George is like, I'm gonna ruin my social game even more, guys. I got this.
Yeah,
Was that Final 17 one the one that like no?
it was like the weight distribution one where there was like holding the barrels.
I thought it was the one where they were up in like the rope, and then I remembered it was like after Final 16.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I like
so
that
what-
one, and I like that in 2017, like when they were in the water. That was kind of cool.
Alright, so what were your guys' thoughts on this episode overall?
Crazy.
I think it was the best episode out of the 3.
I'm
Yeah.
very speechless.
by
Yeah,
a decent margin as well, I think.
yeah.
Like for me,
strongest episode.
it's episode 2, episode 1. Episode 3 is the weakest, not because it's bad, but because I don't know. Something, at least this
It's
is
a
just
Sarah-focused episode. That's probably why.
Yeah, it's a Sarah focused episode.
No, it's not. It's not because it's a Sarah-focused episode. It's because the ending for me actually was a little like, I don't know. I liked George this season. It was great to see him. I feel like they were so focused on giving him a send off, it tanked the episode a little bit. Like,
I mean, George was just gone anyway because like George was just like flat out bottom of any tribe at that point.
I will say they did trick me at the very end, and I'm willing to admit that. When Kirby goes up there and says, "I don't want to ruin my trust," I thought Sarah actually did something good this season. But no.
Oh my gosh, I was watching it
No,
live
that
with
was-
friends,
that's
and
with Shawnee.
we were like hoping that Shawnee wasn't gonna go because, like, I think Shawnee was like a really like has like a huge fan base, and then George, on the other hand, has like it's very polarizing with him. So that's kind of
Yeah,
like
I mean-
the verdict with like Australian Survivor fans overall.
I feel like episode 3 has. I think episode 3 is more interesting to talk about the world tribe than it is the Australian tribe, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the box stuff, I guess. But the dynamics on the World Tribe are pretty simple at the moment.
Mm.
They're
It
simple.
more has to do with. I mean, yeah, it's simple. It's the 4 girls versus Tony and Tommy.
The question is, though, is who would be voted out first? because
I
they
think
haven't
Tony.
really.
I do
I
have
think
a
it's gonna
theory
be
on
Tony.
I do have a theory on that, and I will put it out later. But yeah. EG, what were your thoughts on episode 2?
I mean, if we're looking at pre-merge episodes in Australian Survivor, outside of like the Fraser Tribal and the Daisy Tribal, this might be the best one. It was like everybody's names were around. It was so messy. Loved the tribal council. Had so many great moments. And yeah, what we said earlier, it's that David pretty much fumbled an unfumbleable situation. He had everything to win, not to win the game necessarily, but to go really far. And he fucked it.
Yeah.
Would have had Parvati in the merge as well. Like everything was set up for David.
I think David. I don't know if this. I don't know if this is like if anyone's going to agree or whatnot. I think like David's biggest one of David's biggest weaknesses might be Kirby, because like the thing with Kirby, she's really good at like blindsiding some like really big players that think they're on the top, and then like Kirby just like gets away with it. Sometimes with blood on her hands, other times without. But yeah, that's like kind of signifies how great of a player she is.
I mean,
Yeah, this was a huge breakout episode for Kirby. And I mean, people who have seen Titans versus Rebels know how good Kirby is, but she was one of the lesser names on the board coming into the season. And I think episode 2 cements that Kirby is like a true superstar of Australian Survivor.
Yeah.
like at least to me, I have not watched Australian Survivor, so I don't know. But at least to me, it seems like David made that mistake because, and it seems like most people in this tribe felt the way that Kirby has been saying it. Although I feel like you shouldn't feel in a season like this, where like Kirby was like the princess, like is the best way to describe it. She says it perfectly. Like, I'm not an established name, you guys are, and I feel like David just really shouldn't have cared about that and just did the simple move, which is guarantee that I stay.
Yeah. All right. So, Angie, what were your thoughts on episode 2?
I was very blindsided by the results. In all honesty, I thought George for sure was going home. In that revert, I thought maybe Sarah or Shawnee would have flipped. But I think with David going, I think it's very phenomenal, like how open the game is after him and then Rob like Ventele going the episode before. It is like the game is just like wide open to like anyone, like no more Zulu Kings, no more Golden Gods. So like all the like very big games, like more established winners of International Survivor, if we probably exclude US, but yeah, all the established names are out. So yeah, very open game to anyone and everyone. And Kirby just like really slayed this episode as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's an open game.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, at least for this season, and I think it's because it's so fast paced and because it's such a small cast, but like it is like if I like was on that island, it's kind of easy to tell the groups on that island if you actually try who's working with each other.
Yeah. Which I do think, like, obviously pre-merge is going to be a bit less convoluted. I do think merge will be more convoluted. I know that, there may be predictions of a, like, second Black Widow Brigade. I don't think that's going to happen. Like, I do think it might be a point of contention in, like, the first few bits of merge, but I don't think it's going to be, like, a full cemented thing that'll happen. Because there's just going to be too much chaos going around.
This
Also,
is
the thing is, the point of the original Black Widow Brigade was to get rid of all the men, right?
There's
There's
only 3 men.
probably only gonna be 2 men in the merge.
Yeah.
If next tribal, at least for the world tribe, goes the way we expect it, it's gonna be Luke, and it's gonna be either Tommy or Tony.
You know,
So what's the point of a Black Widow Brigade? It's just gonna be all women in the game anyway.
Yeah.
my prediction, this is my prediction about it, is that the only guy that has a chance to win this game, barring some insane bullshit, because honestly, if you ask me who's going next from Australia, in my opinion, it's
It's who?
It's
Sarah.
true. I didn't get it either.
Sarah. Based on like the promos and stuff, and Kirby being pissed off. But I just think Tony and Tommy are dead in the water through no fault of their own. If they do another season like this, please bring them both back just to give them a chance, because I didn't realize this before the season
We're
started.
not gonna bring Tommy back.
I mean, maybe.
No way.
I mean, this is just my statement. In hindsight, I'm saying this in hindsight, maybe don't put 4 girls on each tribe.
I
knowing-
think it should be even. I think just the
It should
main
have been-
reason it was a 14 cast.
I mean, yeah,
is-
they just weren't able to get the people they wanted. I
Especially
think
Parvati and Suri.
this is a very Frankenstein
Like-
cast.
Okay, I'm gonna speak about that. I need to say this loud and clear. Why the fuck did they get Parvati and Suri? With
Why
4
not?
girls.
It's Parvati and Suri. I don't think it's more complicated than that. They're 2
I mean, like,
legends. They said yes,
understand-
so they're on the season.
No, I mean, I understand the reason why, but like, in hindsight, we should have seen this coming. We should have seen the girls working together coming. The preseason cast evaluation. I still don't know. how
Yeah.
that feels.
Well, one thing I said preseason as well was that Sarah would get max 5 confessionals the whole season, which is so funny.
You
Okay.
you were wrong about that, but I feel like
You were
after
very
what's been
wrong.
going on, I think we wish it was just 5 confessionals.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen to me, okay? This is what I'm gonna say. The only way that Sarah can be redeemed is if she realizes Kirby's using the fuck out of her in flips. That is the only way any of this editing can make Sarah a somewhat good player. Flip. For the love of God, flip.
Oh, but she wants to be loyal though.
Fuck loyalty. You've eliminated 2 people that you said you weren't going to vote on. That you begged your number 1 ally, and they looked at you and said no both times.
She also
Please,
had to go after Shawnee.
The
who
rage
she was
bait
an
is
ally
crazy.
to.
don't care. I'm getting pissed about this player. I think if I was on an island with this player, I wouldn't be able to stand her because she confuses me. She doesn't make sense. She clearly states what she wants, and then when she doesn't get it, she does nothing about it. She's the worst player imaginable for this season. Why was she casted?
Wow.
My God, you're just like really on like this whole Sarah rant. What did Sarah ever do to you?
You know,
Did
you know,
she
you
like
know what?
breathe too hard?
No, you know what? You know what Sarah did to me? She complained about not wanting to vote out, so then did it anyway. That's what Sarah did to me.
Wow.
She took up precious screen time.
No,
Just
this is gonna go viral.
that is, I don't care.
Someone's gonna be like a Twitter guy.
when
Siren, what if you do? What would you do if for Survivor Rivals at Rampage, instead of inviting someone you played with, I invited Sarah?
Oh my god, do it. You should. You gotta do it.
if you do that, my first statement to you is going to be, she's not on my tribe, she's not my problem. The other tribe is fucked.
Siren versus Sarah, EG versus Alan, season 21.
True.
Listen to me, okay? Sarah is not the worst person that you can bring to torture me. I'm fine with that. There are way worse people. You're not scraping the surface.
You say that now, but wait till episode 4, and then you have an even bigger crash out.
I think this is a valid crash out, though, when it comes to Sarah, because
Oh yeah.
she's not enjoyable.
Imagine Sarah's an FTC goat and we have to put up with her for another 7
I swear
episodes.
to fucking God,
Oh
that's
no!
what we're gonna hate.
I don't think
hate it.
that's not likely though. I don't
That's
think.
not likely.
At least.
If Sarah is not booted in the next 2, I'll give her a max 3 tribal councils. If she's not booted in the next 3 tribal councils, then people are on more cocaine than her.
It's just honestly, the only reason I ever see her surviving tribal councils, I want her to be better, by the way. This is me being frustrated because I see the potential. Because she clearly can realize who she should be working with. Oh my god. You know, Sarah, you say you want to play a loyal game. Can you be loyal to your fucking own self-interest first, please? That's not what you're being loyal to this season.
Have we even gone to episode 3?
No.
Yeah, no, let's go.
Let's go
Here
to
we
fucking episode 3.
Because we have a lot of Sarah to talk
Sarah for
about.
like 40 minutes.
Alright, before we
And
talk
something
about
good.
Sarah,
We still have a lot of Sarah to talk about with episode
Yeah,
3.
we do.
Before we have another Siren Sarah crash out, let's have a little intermission, a little small intermission, if you will, because we'll talk about the world first. So World Tribe, we had a bit more of a cemented like beginning of the Black Widow Brigade there, as we mentioned, and then we finally found out what the box is for. We found out that the box is meant to have a clue, which says that there is a hidden immunity idol at JLP's podium. So I don't know what exactly. If it's the podium, it's not the podium itself. I doubt it, but
There's going to be a shoe on the podium.
Yeah, the fucking shoe idol.
I swear, if that's what it is, that is goated.
No, you know what it is. This is it's gonna be a love letter to all the JLP simps out there. The idol is JLP's shirt, and you have to throw it in the fire.
I feel like there's a lot
David's
of
leather
JLP
jacket is the podium
now that he's fired.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to me, okay? What you have to do to get the idol, obviously, is when he puts the urn out and says, anyone going to play anything before I read the votes? You take the urn. That's the idol. The idol is the urn. Obviously, guys, come on.
So true. Alright, so there's a bit of a debate on, well, not a debate, but just like some theories on who's gonna get the idol. So do you guys have theories on who's gonna get that idol if someone does get the idol, that tribal council?
I think it's not going to be Tony, because Tony wearing the shoe idol makes me think he doesn't have a real idol.
Tony's Titanic move.
And it's also Tony, we see Tony walking up in the promos, and I don't think they would spoil that. I think it's kind of a misdirection.
I think it's pretty much Tony going up to vote, is my guess.
Might be, but it's not going to be Tony. Tommy doesn't even know about it,
What
and
I do,
who would even tell Tommy about the podium idol? Does anybody have any like reason to from the girls?
Maybe
No.
Cass, but other than that, no.
No,
I
because
mean,
Cass has the
I mean,
opportunity
Cass
to get
wouldn't have
two
a reason
idols.
though.
this is not telling
Okay, so
shit.
still, I'll throw out my
Cass,
fan theory,
Cass
and I
could
don't.
absolutely just go fucking walk up to the podium the minute they step foot into tribal and be in
Okay, true,
possession of
yeah.
two idols. Like that is such a good opportunity. And it ties back into what we said in preseason as well, that the international players need to build a huge resume. Holding two
I mean-
idols would be a pretty good way to show that.
I mean, for me, this is my fan theory. My fan theory, and this would be funny, and it would explain the promo, is that Tony remembers what Adam does and jokingly decides to try his luck because he feels like the girls are trying to screw him over, and all the girls panic.
That would be funny. I
Yeah,
don't think
and
it'll
then
happen, but
Parvati walks up and shoves Tony out of the way, and Tony falls into the fire and dies.
what in the HK?
You know, you know what would be really fucking funny is if someone from the Australian tribe accidentally got it without knowing it. Like they just go up to the podium as a joke.
I thought you were going to say something else. I thought you were going to say, what if someone from the Australian tribe pushed Sarah in the fire, given how much you're crashing out on her?
Oh, look, okay. I want Sarah to do good in this game. Like honestly, in my perfect world, Sarah learns how to be a good ally, and they just vote out Janine because she is doing
When
nothing.
did she learn that? Did she just fucking wake up one day and completely shift her mind?
Yes, for the love of God, please.
Did she remember to take her meds?
No. What she remembered is called Survivor 101.
George wrote a book about it.
Exactly. She read
Yeah, I
George's
read
book
that book.
coming onto this island. Obviously. She also obviously got coached by like fucking every single person that's ever flipped on someone in Survivor, right? She only learned
Back
that
to the
part of
one
the book.
side. Back to the podium idol.
Yeah, we'll give you your chance.
The podium idol just George's book, like just sign copy.
I mean,
All right. So my big theory on this, and I don't think I'm right. I want to put it out there, but I think my headcanon is that Parvati, in her Black Widow mind, she's like, Tony, the idol is there. Go get it. And then Tony's like, Tony gets the idol, and then he plays it on himself, thinking the votes are coming his way, and that Parvati saves him. And then Tommy gets voted out instead. That's my theory on what happens.
I actually do agree that could happen.
See, if that's the theory though, why would Parvati not do that the opposite way?
No, I think Parvati
On
would
what?
want to keep
Like give it to
Like-
Tommy?
Imagine what a huge move that would be in a huge episode if Parvati does what you said, but tells Tommy to get the idol and votes out Tony.
the reason
Oh.
the reason you do that for Tony is he's sort of forced to go with you because Team America, and B, he's a bigger target than you, and C, the girls are clearly going to split this, right? They would do two.
Like of course it makes sense. It makes sense, but imagine how good that would be.
I think it
Yeah.
would be bad. I mean, it's good for TV, but it's bad for her game. I think that is
Yeah,
as much as I want Tommy to
I want to see a
represent
good season.
what I will be officially dubbing as the Ginger's Robbed Club. You know, he's not gonna be doing well. I feel bad for him. I feel like he's been shafted by this whole season, and but that's life.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tony's going on the world. If he doesn't win immunity, I think it's Tony because I think the girls are like really trying to like hide this whole box thing from Tony. Like, I think
You know,
Yeah.
I do
they
have
they're
one
just like
theory.
really
It'll be a weird
hesitant on
shift.
him. It's the thing.
It's gonna be a weird shift if next episode Parvati goes and tells Tony.
You
Yeah.
know, no, this is what I'm gonna say. This is my theory. This would explain so much. This is batshit crazy. What if Tommy wins immunity and Tony somehow got to that idol first? And that's why Suri doesn't have an intro. That's why Suri is on 50. That's how Suri loses the game.
I mean,
Another
intro
fucking
or
wild
not, I think
revolt.
Cerie's doing well. I think Cerie's gonna go very far.
I mean, I'm saying like if Suri is I'm saying that if Suri is going home this season, it's because Suri is getting screwed, and that's when it could happen. Is that the international girls obviously don't want to vote each other if Tony clearly gets the idol that's right there, and they're
Maybe
not gonna vote out Parvati, so Suri is just dead.
I'm gonna change your story a little bit and say, imagine so Tommy wins immunity, they go to tribal, Tony pulls out the fucking shoe idol, and it's like remember in Heroes versus Villains when Rupert put that rock in his pocket and Russell
Yeah.
bought it?
Oh my
Imagine
fucking
that
god. I would
Tony,
break.
what's going here?
the girls buy the shoe idol and they cannibalize each other.
No,
I
because
would-
it's like no, you guys. Oh wait, neither Angie and EG didn't watch Ghost Island yet, but Siren has. You remember the stick idol Siren?
I remember the fucking stick idol. I swear on everything, it would be so fucking funny if Tony plays a shoe. I will pay money for this man to go up there and unironically play a shoe just to fuck with them. I will pay money.
No, you know what the true story is. You remember like that one story in Survivor Panama where Shane and Aris found a cocaine brick offset.
No, I know about that story, yeah.
It's like that, and Tony just found it on like offshore, and just thought, oh wait, that's the idol.
There's a shoe that's washed up on
Did
fucking
they give that to Sarah before the season?
Yeah, they gave Sarah Shane's cocaine brick.
Listen to me, okay? What clearly happened,
Imported it from Panama.
what clearly
Guatemala.
happened is after Sarah had that conversation with Kirby about how she wanted to keep David off screen, she found a block of cocaine, guys. It makes sense. It totally makes sense.
All right, do you wanna move on to Australia, Siren, so we can talk about your favorite player of all
Actually,
time?
I will say we've talked about some really good theories on what
Yeah.
happens with the podium idol. I think what's going to happen is a bit more simple than that. I think Parvati is just going to go up and get it.
No, I think it is. I don't know if Parvati's going to end up
I
getting
think it
it.
might be Cerie.
I think Suri might end up getting it because all kind of just collectively are like respectful to her because of Game Changers, where it's like you didn't have an idol and you go home, you can go ahead and get it.
We're playing for the greatest of all time. You're not going to be fucking respectful
Yeah, but
because
Yeah,
of
but the
game changers. Nobody gives a shit.
Game Changers is a fan fiction season anyway.
yeah,
It's
I mean
not even good fan fiction.
it's not. I mean, you know, if we talk about the Australia tribe, I think my favorite thing to talk about isn't Sarah, it's Luke. Because Luke is the most interesting character in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Luke had a
One
good
thing we
episode.
didn't talk about with Luke was the whole banana incident.
Oh yeah, he stole the bananas.
Yeah, he's a banana banditing. He's a
Yeah, that's classic Luke.
yeah.
Luke
That is. Luke's such a weird amalgamation of players. He's like Tyson, uh, he's like Tyson, Tony, and like a positive version of Russell, all mixed into one.
I can actually see that because, like, I think the Australian tribe was interesting because I kind of like the narrative of Luke, where it's like very clear who he's loyal to, but he's also trying to be good with the majority. Like, I think he did the right move by putting that vote on Shanib. I just wonder if he's going to be forced to play that idol if it backfires. I don't think Luke would be the one, but
I do think Luke is. I'm assuming individual immunity is one necklace for each tribe. Next episode,
Yeah.
Luke's in a pretty good position to go and win that immunity.
it would be
Now
Luke or
that David's
Kirby.
gone. So if Luke can get that immunity, keeps the idol to merge, and has more opportunities with people from World, maybe go in with the girls. That could be a way for him to get further.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Would the girls take him though?
I think the
I
girls
think-
would take him. I think the girls would take him if Janine is there. That's going to be my statement.
Janine is
think-
going to be there. Luke and Janine are inseparable, I think.
Yeah.
But
Janine's
Yeah.
basically playing for Luke to win.
yeah, but the thing is if somehow this is a universe where Kirby, Sarah, and Shani just stick together, that universe still exists. It's a bit less probable.
It's
exists.
Siren.
There's
Siren,
no
I know you
way
haven't
those
crashed out.
three
I know you
are gonna
haven't
stick
crashed out.
together.
I know, Siren, I know you haven't crashed out for a while, but Sarah's not a very unified person.
No.
Listen to me, okay? I believe in Sarah. I believe.
No, you don't. You absolutely
No, you don't.
I don't believe in Sarah right now, but I'm saying it would be interesting if Sarah pulled it together.
That's
I
different.
think Sarah's gonna go with Luke and Janine. I think that's where this narrative is going. I think Kirby and Sarah are going.
Kirby and Sarah are gonna clash.
Yeah, Kirby
Yeah,
and
they're
Sarah
gonna
are going.
clash.
And then I think you may call me insane for saying this. I think Kirby may be the next elimination. I hate saying it, but I think Kirby may be going.
Why? Because of Sarah.
Because Luke and Janine are going to want to keep Sarah around.
Why?
Why?
Because
Why?
Sarah has only been loyal to them if you fucking think about it.
No, she has. She hasn't.
Aw.
No, they voted
That's
separately.
not then. Yeah.
I mean, they voted separately, yes, but like, okay, how to explain this? Sarah,
What the fuck is that logic, man?
Sarah didn't tell Janine about the David vote.
Okay, I'll give you. Okay, I see where you're going with that, and I do.
If they were to flip one of the three, it would be Sarah. I think it would. It wouldn't be Kirby. Especially if Kirby and Sarah have a fight, Luke and Janine are gonna have to take that and run. I think they realize that. That's
I do think it is worth separating the Kirby Shawnee duo. Here's my thing. Sarah is a chaos factor. Okay, Sarah's the new George, pretty much, right? Like,
yeah.
Like Sarah's gonna dig her grave anyways. You might as well let her and go after a more prominent figurehead. So I do kind of see where you're going with that. Now,
Like,
I don't have a true theory yet on who goes home. My best guess is that here's what I think. since we'll talk more about like full on Australian content on in a bit, but my full theory is here is how the final 11 tribal goes down. It's gonna be a little similar to how that All Stars swap tribal went, where two players get voted out, and then they compete in a fire making challenge for two
Yeah,
stays. and who
something
gets
like that.
eliminated.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I think is gonna happen.
I mean,
Yeah,
if that
because
does
every
happen-
indication has been that we merge at 10.
Yeah.
I mean, if that does happen, my statement is going to be Tony's not going. I
Tony
don't.
sucks at fire.
I don't think fire is happening just because like it's 10 episodes.
Yeah, I don't think it would
It'd
be
be-
fire.
It'd be
I think-
final 11, final 9, final 8, and then next week will be final 7, final 5, and then it'll be finale, which is typically, if it's a 3-person tribal council, a final 4 to begin with.
But then how'd jury work? Unless it's a final 2 and we've all been lied to, I guess.
They
It
haven't
could be
confirmed that.
something. Maybe instead of fire, it could be something like the split tribal in the new era, where the person who wins like total immunity, they go to tribal second, and they get to be on the jury.
It could be that.
Maybe.
And so final 10 is a pre-merge boot, but they're on the jury.
I'm with Civ on the dual theory, and the reason why I'm on that theory is
Yeah, I also think it's more likely. We're just throwing out possible ideas.
I just think it would be weird to have such a small merge with a cast like this after sending home 2 players without giving them tribal immunity on it. I just don't think that's the proper thing to do. It makes the merge a little more boring in my opinion as well if they do that, because if they did that, I think Australia's just fucked. Depending on what happens.
Well, since you believe Australia's fucked, I have a question for you, Siren.
Mhm.
How did you feel about Sarah this episode?
I think really good. She played amazing.
Sarah's the GOAT, like, not the bar GOAT, but like the greatest of all time. Like, my favorite player. Like, I'm the biggest Sarah fan. Oh my god. Sarah
Yeah.
Select, call me.
I really love how Sarah switched the vote to Shawnee.
Yeah, I think Sarah is an idiot. This is my first statement of the day. Why is Shani your enemy again? Because you're salty that you lost
Jealousy.
for no fucking reason. You guys make a final 3, you're clearly a trio, and then you're like, no, you took my friend, no, you took your own friend. Idiot. I swear to God. You were the reason David went home. Not Kirby, not Shani, you!
Siren wishes that Sarah either loses fire or doesn't make the jury and goes home in this next episode.
No,
Sorry.
Sarah's not going to go home. I hope that Sarah smartens up, but I single-handedly believe that the only reason Sarah is still in this game is because George is there.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like,
I just
Honey wants her revenge on George to start off with. I think we should
just-
probably get to that soon. And then,
Yeah.
and like, look, I don't think working with George is in anyone's best interest whatsoever. So, like, why not take him out?
like what confuses me about Sarah is she's just all over the place. She's too emotional. And like as much as like you can dog on Janine on the Australian tribe for basically not having an edit, I'd rather have her edit than Sarah's edit.
Wow.
And Janine is the one person. Janine is the one person on Australia who is actually like legitimately playing a loyal game.
I would
Mhm.
think Luke.
She
I would say
hasn't
Luke.
budged. She's
loyal
been
game.
loyal to Luke the whole way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Janine's like
Luke is-
Janine's like the hero of the Australian side. That's this right.
In my opinion, I'm not gonna say Janine is playing a god tier game,
No,
but
it's
Definitely not.
fine.
She's
It's
no
it's
longer
a
godmother.
fine
She's his
game, I
mother.
guess.
Yeah,
But, I
she's his
mean-
mother.
she's fine. The thing that confuses me about Sarah is that she just doesn't know how to stand her ground. She clearly knew that keeping David was better for her. And honestly, I think she should have just flipped. I don't know. I don't understand what Sarah is thinking.
Yeah,
I
and then
understand.
going into the next episode, again, she got. We didn't see that, it was probably off screen, but again, she got strong armed by Kirby into voting for George instead of Shawnee.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Sarah just she doesn't want to play a loyal game. She just doesn't want to play the fucking game. And then cry about it after the vote. That's what's gonna happen. This is the formula now. It's I eliminate someone I didn't want to eliminate. It's her fault. No, it's your fault. You could have easily done it. You had the power. You had the votes for Shani. You just could have flipped. It was that simple. Just
No,
walk up.
to be fair, in episode 3, Sarah didn't know that her vote was the deciding vote
No, like
No,
because
I'm like
Luke flipped a tribal.
No,
That
like,
is
I'm in
that is
agreement.
true.
that she
We didn't know
understands.
it was going to be a 3-2-1. We thought it was going to be a 4-1-1.
I
going
understand
into
why she
But
does.
she is still probably going to blame Kirby anyways.
She's gonna blame
Yeah.
Kirby, but like my statement is that if she wanted to make Shanine the move, what she needed to do is go to Janine and Luke privately and not tell fucking Kirby, because obviously she can't say Kirby, and Kirby is like the worst ally for her imaginable. Because I don't know. I think Kirby is playing amazingly. Kirby is just bashing Sarah on the head with
Yeah,
like a giant.
Kirby
Sarah can't
Kirby
be
is
another Ree,
easily the best
unfortunately.
Australian player right now.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
think the best Australian player is Kirby. I think it's Luke. Honestly,
I mean,
I
this
think
season, not in
I mean,
general.
have you seen Luke's other seasons and Kirby's other seasons?
no, I'm saying like right now the best placed is Luke because Kirby is about to get blown up.
No, the best placed is Luke. I agree with you
Best
on that, but the
placed
best
is
player
Kirby-
But
this
like
season
best
is Kirby.
gameplay.
Yeah,
Like,
Best
Kirby's like,
gameplay, yeah.
Who,
Not the best
who had the
gameplay.
most awesome first week? Kirby did.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Gonna be my statement. I have one problem with Kirby's game. Just one problem.
Oh boy.
No, I think this is very reasonable. You shouldn't have. You shouldn't have.
Like
should have-
everything Siren says in this episode.
No, it's for episode 2, and I should have said it back then. But pulling the David card at Tribal was very risky. Trying to flip the vote right
That's
there.
Kirby. That's
I mean,
how
that's
she plays,
Kirby.
and it
I mean,
works.
I was-
Kirby's a boss bitch. Like, it will obviously work on her.
No, I'm in agreement. Like Kirby got away with it, but what I'm saying is I just the Australian
okay.
tribe is fancy, and I love it, but Sarah is the reason this tribe is good. But I also can't stand Sarah.
Sarah's kind of like I don't know, man. All right, let's stray away from Sarah a little bit. Let's go on to Shawnee's vendetta against George because
I will say with Shawnee, it's funny how in both episodes she could have and maybe should have gone home, and yet it doesn't feel like it. There's been pretty much no mention of Shawnee, like outside of a couple scenes in episode 3. There's been no mention of Shawnee as a possible boot, and she's been really close to going home.
yeah, like I'd say Shawnee's playing good. She's playing with the cards she has, and I think she did well against George. It's just, I think right now it's the optics that are going on right now, and I think come merge
Yeah.
she'll be in a better spot. I don't think Shawnee's getting
It's
booted at
difficult.
merge. I think
I don't think Shawnee's
It's
getting
difficult
booted
to play
either.
with these idiots. It's difficult.
yeah.
Look,
The-
I
the
think
only-
Shawnee's like
Shawnee's doing well, but everyone else is just so chaotic that
I think
things
Shawnee's
have just
very
kind of gone
well
bad.
positioned, I guess, in a way. Maybe not as much as Luke. She might be the second most like best positioned person, I'd say, in the tribe. Like she hasn't really burnt too many bridges, in my opinion. I think she'd be safe in this next tribal. Like I think
Yeah.
there's very middle of a road here.
Yeah.
There's one
The
scenario.
one
I
bridge,
see going. There's only one.
the one bridge that Shawnee hasn't burned. Sorry, the one bridge that Shawnee has burned. She literally did nothing to burn it.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
mean-
that Sarah's
Mm.
jealous.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think there's one scenario
She's
where
not
she
directly
goes.
going
and
it.
it's- If Kirby wins immunity, that's the only way. Is if Sarah goes and flips, but can't get rid of Kirby, so Shani's just the next best thing.
Yeah, that's the only way I could see it going.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thing we want to get into for episode 3, or should we move on to like the overall standings? All right. So before we get on to our power rankings that we all made, I do have a question for all three of you. Between Rob, David, and George, who played the worst of the three?
I
Ooh.
personally think maybe George. I don't think he was ever that well into it. I think he just burnt too many bridges. Like I think he's just not doing as great as he did like in the other 2 seasons. Like he's a cockroach there, but like this time he's like washed by extermination. And yeah, I think his ego just gets in the way too much. So I think that's why I have him as the worst. Like he's never a power bottom. He's just always a bottom.
What do you guys think?
I think David played the worst. And the reason why I say David is because Rob never really had a chance. The dynamics were stacked against him with 4 women, with Parvati and Siri, what we said. It was pretty clear from the get-go, in hindsight, that Rob was kind of screwed. Yes, his execution was bad on the Parvati move, but the odds were stacked against him. George, the odds were stacked against him from the get-go. David had a brilliant situation, and he just made the wrong read. And that's why he's going home. David is the one person out of those 3 that could have got out of going home. If he had worked with George, right now we would be talking about David. He would be minimum top 5 in our power rankings.
What do you think, Siren?
I understand where Angie is coming from. It is between David and George for me. But I think it has to be David for the sole reason that David lives if he takes the lifeline that George was obviously trying to give him. And as much as George fucked up in the game, he at least made a single good decision compared to David and Rob. So it can't be George, despite his numerous fuck ups, because it doesn't matter if he fucks up. It's George. He was dead either
Wait.
way. I
got a
think.
question.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about the votes because David voted George, right? Wouldn't David still
Yeah.
go home if
Yeah.
he does side with George? Because George was the only one who voted Janine in that tribal.
Well, if he-
so
Well,
Yeah, he was
George
willing to
David
vote.
had
He was-
agreed to it. So
Well,
George
George
voted
was willing
Janine
to
because Luke eventually told him to vote Janine.
Yeah, George was with them. It's just
And,
David.
As a boy.
Luke was on the
Those-
David side. So the David
Mm.
side told George to vote for Janine. And if they had told him, yes, we agree on Shawnee, George would have voted for Shawnee.
Yeah, they
And it
would have
would-
had the
and if they
easiest
vote-
round ever. Like,
And if they
as
voted
mu-
Shawnee too, it's 4-3.
like with Rob, it's just he played horrible, but he got Black Widow. With George, it's George. He sucks socially. But with David, it's you had the world at your hands and then you fumbled. Horrible. It's David. He's the only one
Right.
that could have prevented it, and it's not even. I guess Rob could have technically prevented it. Don't call
Rob
Parvati
could
to the water, but
My rankings of it would go the best I believe is Rob of the three.
Yeah.
Rob played bad. Rob played bad definitely, but he played understandably bad. Like you understand why he's doing the stuff he's doing. It makes sense. There's obviously strategic reads to it. He just
Yeah,
didn't
not
have
everything, but a lot of things. Like, I don't understand the whole Dondi situation with Rob.
I didn't understand. I don't understand that, but it's like just the general overview of Rob obviously sniping Parvati as a threat. It's just
Yeah.
he didn't have the ability to out finesse Parvati, and obviously he made a lot of people wary by Tribal Council. But I do think Rob had generally okay reads. He played bad socially, but I think between the three he had the best strategic reads.
Yeah.
I'd say between David and George. George, if we're talking purely about potential, then I think David played worse. But because obviously David was in a better position than George. But I think on a general overview, George absolutely plays worse than David. Because David was in a better position and he fucked it up, and that's not good. But obviously George just did absolutely, I mean, aside from that one thing Siren mentioned, George did absolutely nothing right.
No.
But
Exactly.
I'm in my nothing right, but like if you go home before the guy that did nothing,
yeah, that's a fair point.
David actively fucked up a lot more than George did.
yeah, he fucked up so much more that he went home before George, when David could have easily stayed a lot longer.
Although I
I
will
just-
say again, and I don't wanna invite Siren into another crash out, but David's read was that he trusted a decade-long friendship to stay with him.
To be fair, I don't blame him about that.
How
I'm
the
not
fuck?
gonna.
How the fuck could David possibly know that Sarah, of all people, was gonna flip?
Yeah.
Sarah's new nickname is
Moving on.
I think I'm gonna tie it and vote George probably.
We got
David
2-2.
didn't play great either. Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah.
But
They
I think we can
all
all
played-
agree between the three, Rob played the best, kind of.
Yeah.
even if Rob played the best game imaginable. Okay, to be fair, maybe this is a maybe. Maybe if he isn't that stupid and doesn't pull Parvati to the beach, they get rid of Tommy. Maybe.
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
Rob's-
that would be Rob's
No,
best interest,
no.
though.
It didn't have a reason to.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what I'm saying is if Rob doesn't pull Parvati to the beach, doesn't pull the Donnie stuff, and doesn't try to target Parvati and just goes for Suri, maybe Parvati's like, yeah, we're cool. I'll save you for one round. Because Parvati clearly wanted that relationship, and Rob did as well. That's kind of my point. Maybe.
I mean, maybe if he had done some more research, I don't know if there was any speculation out there about Lisa being a huge Suri fan.
I don't
Maybe
think
if that was the case,
that-
he could have pushed, a Tommy Cast Tony alliance.
Yeah, I mean,
But that
Yeah.
goes way too much into speculation.
I just don't think I'm gonna say this. I think everyone will agree with me on this. The world's tribe was not built fairly. Or the international tribe. It was not built fairly. In
Yeah, I think
hindsight.
in hindsight we can say that. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
I-
they basically gave Parvati and Suri a free ticket to merge.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, we'll move on to
Which I
power
mean, I'm not
rankings now.
complaining.
I'm not gonna
The
complain
more
about that.
Parvati and Suri, yeah, the more Parvati and Suri we see, the better. But yeah, it was like Tony and Tommy and Rob got a very very bad tribe.
All right.
I
So,
wish it was a cast of 16 and we had maybe one
Oh,
more
no.
man on each tribe.
No, I'm in agreement. This should have been 16 in hindsight.
Even if it's a lesser name, like it doesn't need to be another superstar.
I'm willing to bet money they could have like gotten at like one.
Somebody, one new era player, even like just make the tribes a bit more even.
You know, I wouldn't have been angry. You know what could have been a cool pick that I think could have said yes if they wanted to go new era? Someone like Cody or Jesse or one of the big male names. Like, I don't care who, just like someone. I'm just thinking
yeah, I
of names
think
off the top of my head. Jonathan,
Bruce,
Bruce. They could have easily fucking gotten Bruce. I would have complained about that. Q could have been an interesting pick. I'm not gonna lie. You put Q on that tribe, it's entertaining.
Q and Sarah at the merge.
oh boy. You know, wait, you know who they should have brought back or to play again? And I'm probably not going to pronounce her name correctly, and so EG will correct me. Giannis Alkio Kelly, the winner of the most recent
What?
season of Survivor Greece.
I did not watch that season. I have no idea who this guy is.
Oh, all right.
Wait, how did you say that?
Giannis Alkio. I already forgot the last name. Fuck.
When was the most recent season? Even I have no clue who this guy is.
Let's see. It was August
Okay,
2024.
Ninos Nikolaidis. Wait, that's the runner-up.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with the wiki. It has the runner-up and the winner in the wrong spot.
Yannis Alkeo Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Look, all I'm gonna say is
he lost. He lost 3-0 at the final challenge. There's a challenge to determine the winner. It's not a jury vote.
I would like to
Oh,
throw hands.
Okay, so
What-
the format is like the final three go to the jury. The jury picks one person to go to the end, the final two. Then there's a challenge between the two losers to see who goes to the final two with the jury winner. And then in the end, there's a challenge between the final two. And Yannis Kelly won the jury vote 6-2. So maybe he was the strategist. I don't know.
You know, my statement is going to be this. What is that, Survivor or the challenge?
No, it's basically the challenge.
Yeah, it's not
There's
Survivor.
no like. I watched yesterday. It came up on my YouTube. The sort of like FTC of that Greek season, and you have the three of them making the opening statement, and everybody was just like they didn't even pitch anything. They just said, "You know me, vote with your heart," or some bullshit like that. Nobody pitched anything.
Let's get the part. I think we all have the same person as first on our power rankings.
I don't.
No, Angie. We'll have Angie go first.
Oh,
Actually,
we need
she has
Andy
a
to
different-
justify this pick.
No, I'm
Okay.
actually.
Oh, by the
Good.
way, I'll show. I'm gonna put like power rankings up on like in post edit. But yeah, go ahead, Angie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna preface this with.
Don't show the 21 version.
I'm gonna preface this with. AU Survivor is known to have like very obscure winner edits in their
Is it?
previous seasons.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
2016, maybe 2017. I'd probably say Champions vs Contenders 1, maybe 2, maybe Brains vs Brawn, the first one at least, and HVV, to name a fair few. And
I wouldn't call
I
most of
think,
these obscure edits though.
yeah,
I'd
I
say
mean,
I'd
some
agree
of
with
them.
some, but I don't
Like
think
Haley,
Brains versus
for
Brawn.
example, was easily the second biggest character in Brains vs
I
Brawn.
mean, the thing with Haley was that like she really didn't get like much until like the final 19 where she made her first big move.
I mean,
Anyway,
that was like specific though to Haley's game. I don't know. I kind
Anyway.
of see the point.
yeah. Anyway, so with my pick, I said Cass because I think she's the most. I'd say she has the most knowledge out of everyone. Like, obviously, there's like the Black Widow Brigade, like led by Parvati and Sari. I think it would be better for me to have Parvati and Sari like next to each other within my rankings. And Cass has an idol that nobody else knows about, and she knows where this other idol is. So look, there's like a chance that she could hold two idols, and she could have a lot more power than people might think she does. So there's my take.
I understand the take. The only reason I have Cass a bit low in my power rankings compared to you, Angie, is the fact that when I look at the Black Widow Brigade 2.0 at the moment, even if Cass gets two idols, is there a world that she beats Parvati or Suri? If this is where her game is going
I think the only way Cass can beat a Parvati at FTC or a Suri especially is if she plays like both idols correctly and
Yeah.
does some sort of really big
Or
move.
if the girls don't make FTC.
I mean, exactly. Like, the girls can't make FTC is what I'm saying. Like, right now, with the information that I have, I just can't say that Cass is going to be able to do that compared to other players. Because I feel like the bigger names... How do I put this? I don't think any of the international players are going to win that are not American or Australian. And I'm going to stand by that take.
Yeah,
I think
I agree with that.
I think it is too difficult of a hill to climb. Now, if I think any of them is going to climb it, it is her, but it is
Yeah.
still a hell of a climb.
Yeah, I think Cass could be one of those players that, like, even though she may not win, she will be the breakout like international star of the season.
I could see her getting second.
And Quebec could end up getting more viewers for next year as well.
I
Hold on,
see
let me check
Cass.
the Quebec view rate.
Yeah, I see Cass as like a very good second placer at the moment. Honestly, where like she tries her hard.
I could
She
see
tries
that.
her and swings for the fences, but there's a big name at the end, and
Cass getting
Alright, so
runner-up
I'm gonna-
again would be a pretty interesting plot line, though.
continue with your power ranking explanations, Angie.
Wait, okay. I think I'm done with Cass, I think. Do you want me to
Yeah.
go down the list? I have Luke.
Yeah, if you want to give like brief explanations, yeah.
Yeah, I got Luke at second. So yeah, Luke has an idol. Luke is like the best situated in the game. Janine's loyal to Luke. So I don't think the girls are gonna go for him. I think that's gonna get a little more catty. In the next episode, I think it's likely that Sarah goes next. I think Luke yeah, I think just Luke has like a good amount of like power. I think he has a nice edit. But yeah, I think that's where I stand with him. And then I think I have Parvati and Sari next. I have them next to each other because I think it's just like very similar. Like they're going on a very similar like trajectory. I guess there was a still with like a Dondi thing, and yeah, I think um Parvati maybe has a little more leeway like socially than Sari, but even though like Lisa exists, so yeah. At number 5, I have Kirby Bentley. I think the only reason why she could go soon is because like people know her as like the God Slayer, and people could come back, and it could just come back to bite her. But like she's playing really well. I think she's getting like a good edit. I think I might switch 6 and 7 in all honesty. I think I might go Shawnee 6 and Lisa 7 now. I think Shawnee did well, like with the whole George blindside. She has Kirby on her side, and like not many people know too much about like that being like an under the radar duo. Everyone thinks it's a trio. So I think Shawnee is doing very well, like socio-strategically in that department. And then Lisa, I think Lisa got a good, like, very good edit in episode 1. Like, she clearly has that potential to like go very far. Number 8, I have Tommy. I can't say too much about Tommy at this very moment. And then 9, I have Sarah. I know I have Sarah above Janine and Tony, but I have Sarah at number 9. I think she's gonna be the next to go realistically. But yeah, I think she's getting a lot of content. She could be going next. She could be going like an episode after. She could even be a losing finalist for all I know. And then Janine, I have at 10. I think like Janine's playing the very little game. I think her game isn't as great as what she did in her previous season, in being like the negotiator, the godmother. There's not much going for her. She kind of fucked up with voting for Shawnee as like in case George has an idol, but it's George. Anyway, and I think that could come back to bite her with Shawnee. I don't know if Shawnee's gonna get that revenge or not, but I don't see Janine winning. I think just 9 to 11, I just don't see winning. And then Tony, I have at last. I think his goose is cooked. I think there's a reason why he has that fucking shoe idol. I think Tony's Titanic move is going to be the next Sue's big move. I think, yeah, he's just like the most likely to go next on that world tribe if he doesn't win immunity. I think that's my take there. So yeah, I think that kind of wraps up my rankings.
All right. Fair enough. You guys got any questions for Angie's power rankings other than the cast thing?
No, I mean, I think pretty understandable.
All right. I'll do mine next.
I can see why these people are the way they are in the power rankings. I
mean-
don't agree with Cass, but I can see why. Like, it's understandable.
For me, I haven't. I'm gonna double check everyone's power rankings as I say this. I feel we all have. There's like 2 categories in my mind. 1 through 7, which is like Shawnee and like Cass and Lisa, like the players that like actually could reasonably win this game, and then the back 4 are Sarah.
Yeah. There's a
Tony,
lot of cooked
I agree with
people.
this.
It's very
and-
obvious who the cooked players are.
Yeah.
Like we have what I consider my viable tier, which is like the top 7 and then the other 4. So like
Yeah.
where you put them, like
Like,
Yeah, I
sort of
feel
say also,
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
have
'cause
like a
we all have-
viable and cooked. I think there's multiple tiers within the viable as well.
yeah, like there is.
There's people with an outside shot, and then there's the clear favorites. I think we have I think Parvati is in all of our top 3, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luke maybe
Yeah.
in all of our top 3. So yeah,
I think Parvati
actually
and
no,
Luke
I have Luke
is
in
in
4th.
every. Oh wow!
What?
Oh,
I put Lucas 4 as well.
oh,
No
damn.
way.
Luke, Luke is
There's
second for Steve, second for
there's a
Angie.
reason why he's 4th, and there's only one reason, and it's Luke needs to stop the Black Widow Brigade.
Let me just change my
Yeah.
text rankings to swap Shawnee and Lisa real quick.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Lisa for me is I think Lisa can make a game for herself. I just don't know. Because
Yeah.
because the thing for me, the only reason Shawnee for me is under Lisa is that Lisa is never going home probably. Shawnee has a chance of going home now.
I don't
It
think
is
Shawnee's going home next.
like
Yeah, and also the thing is that Lisa is treated as a Suri sidekick, and then
I think-
Suri is treated as a Parvati sidekick.
I do agree that there's like 2 tiers, but I think it's actually like the bottom 5 is more of like the cooked tier. I don't think
Who's
Lisa's
the 5th person for
necessarily
you?
like cooked. I don't think Lisa's cooked, but she's not. She's star-studded. She's not gonna.
Yeah. I don't think she's gonna win, but I think she's gonna go really far at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
Like
I
I think
don't
there was more equity in the first episode compared to the other 2, but yeah, I think that's just where it stands.
I think Lisa the thing for me why I don't put Lisa in that 5 is I think Lisa's storyline, if they end up giving Lisa a good story, may be her breaking out of that. Out of the
Will
whole
that happen though?
Maybe. I think it's unlikely.
What I think is
I
this is
think
my
the
thing,
few
right?
things we got from Lisa in the first week, even after the premiere, they were kind of goofy to me. I
No,
think
I
it's going to
agree.
continue on that trajectory.
What
Like
I
the
mean is
scene
like
with her distracting Tony and stuff like that.
yeah, like I see like a world where like maybe she wins because Parvati are taken and she's not involved and some weird shit happens, but like I actually can see her winning, unlike the other 4. I can't see them winning. But yeah.
Do either of you want to like delve in on your power rankings?
Yeah, I'll just go quickly. I know I'm going to get flack for a second. I will defend that. Parvati is my number 1. We love Parvati.
Weird.
Parvati
Yeah, but
is by far the best position player in this entire game, in my opinion. I don't even think it's close. Kirby is second for me. Because I think Kirby is still going to be underestimated, and in my opinion, if this is going to be my guess, I think Shani may be the next boot from the Australia tribe. I don't think it's going to be Janine. It may be Kirby. I don't think it's going to be Sarah. I'm just going to state that. I think Sarah is going to end up being the swing vote of that tribal. I don't think Sarah will be ever going home at that tribal as much as I would want that. And then 3 is Suri. 4
Wait,
is
didn't you
Luke.
say you want Sarah to smarten up and be better? Now you
Yeah, I
want her
want
to go home?
Yeah, I want her to go home if she doesn't smarten up, but
Oh,
I
Siren now just as confused as
Well,
Sarah.
fucking decide.
I mean,
Siren, Sarah's rubbing off on you. Run away.
No, Siren's no longer Tom Pointer. Sarah too.
look, both her names start with an S. You know, maybe I need to change the I to an A for like a week. Maybe,
Aaron.
maybe. I mean, no. It's complicated for me for Sarah because, like, I wanted to like her at the start, and then I just don't. But at the same time, like realistically, she's going to be here, so I'm just trying to enjoy it. I think she's going to work with Ginny and Luke, and I feel like Shawnee or Kirby. I just think it would be Shawnee instead of Kirby because they have already burned Shawnee in the last vote.
I think it would
True.
be Kirby instead of Shawnee because Sarah fought with Kirby in the
Yeah.
preview.
Cass is my number 5, but Cass is also like Cass is the Hail Mary of the season for me. Cass could easily ball out and win, but has to be with the right. Lisa's 6, Shawnee is 7. I don't know how to explain it with me for Shawnee. I don't think Shawnee has done anything bad. I just don't think Shawnee is as well connected as anyone else in what I call the Power Four of the Australia tribe. Because there's the duo of Shawnee and Kirby, and the duo of Luke and Janine. And I just don't think Shawnee and Kirby have the sway over Sarah anymore. Because Sarah's clearly going to blow. 8 is Janine for me because maybe Janine is going to get like a random merge at it. I don't know. 9 is Sarah. I know, right? Sarah is an 11. How shocking, right? Maybe
Sarah's
I need to
12.
change. Maybe I need to change that. 10 is
Sarah
Tony.
15.
Sarah's 15.
He just has the other 3 eliminated places.
Tony is 10 for me. I want to believe in Tony. This is my statement. If Tony somehow, by a miracle, makes merge, Tony instantly rises up in my rankings. But how the fuck is Tony gonna get there?
If he
Like-
wins the next immunity challenge.
Plays the shoe idol.
Honestly, I do think there's a world that Tony just wins immunity and they're just baiting us like hell, which would
No,
be.
I think
Tony's
the Titanic
Titanic
move
move
is
is
the
just to
bait.
ball out at the challenge.
Wait, no, hold on,
Titanic
hold on.
move is the-
Tony's Titanic move is he gives
Yeah.
the immunity necklace away to Tommy, and then he puts on the shoe necklace. Now they're both immune.
Listen to me, okay? I will die of fucking laughter if what happens that episode is if Tony wins immunity, goes to tribal, and just randomly says, and confuses all of production while doing this, by the way, gives Tommy the necklace and just says, I'm gonna pull an Adam, and it's Mad Dash to the podium. Now that would be similar. I mean, no. Tommy, or as I like to call him because of autocorrect, Tommy, they're fucked. I have no belief in them whatsoever. Janine has more of an edit than Tommy.
Okay, Tony wins immunity,
Yeah.
gives the necklace to Tommy,
Puts on
takes the
shoe.
podium, takes the podium idol,
And then Suri
gives
goes
the
home.
podium gives the podium idol to somebody like Lisa or something,
It
and
depends.
Oh God!
and then takes off the shoe.
God, please. No, but I mean, maybe I should have changed Kirby in hindsight, but the only way Kirby goes home, because I'm standing by this, Shawnee or Kirby will be going home. And you can clip me on that. If it doesn't happen, everyone can laugh at me. This will be the biggest clip for me.
Sarah.
I don't
Prepare the laughter.
because
I'm gonna laugh as Sarah goes.
I don't think Sarah is going to go because I think Luke and Janine are gonna pull in Sarah as a third, and then they're gonna keep Kirby as the fourth. because Sarah would vote Shawnee out more than Kirby, and they've already burned. You know what I mean?
Even though they fight.
Sarah and Kirby are gonna fight. It's
Stop trying
confirmed.
to predict what Sarah's gonna do.
I'm not
Sarah's
predicting.
big move.
I'm not predicting what Sarah's going to do. I'm predicting what going. For all I fucking know, Sarah is going to be given the best deal of her life, and she's gonna say, "Nah, I'm gonna vote."
That's Sarah's Titanic move.
Look, okay, I'm not believing in Sarah. I'm believing in Luke. Like, realistically, if you go by what has happened, if whatever Sarah says that she wants to do, the opposite is going to happen. We just learn to expect it, but no, that's my power rankings. We'll pass it off.
All right. EG, do you want to go on yours?
Yeah, I'll start. So I have Parvati at number 1. I think we've both Angie and Siren talked about the reasons why. Parvati's in a great position. She's got the Black Widow Brigade. She can win competitions. She's not going to be the biggest target. Her edit is amazing. Like, everything to me is pointing to Parvati at the very least being a major character in the season, if not winning. She navigated the Rob vote really well. She can maybe get the idol. She's had a couple of mistakes, but she's in a great position. Kirby's number 2. Best week of anybody on the Australian tribe. Best edit on the Australian tribe. I will say she's in a little bit of danger coming up, but if she can navigate that, I think she's got a great chance to earn that respect at the end. Cerise at 3. I agree with Angie on the whole, Cerise and Parvati have a similar trajectory. The thing is that Cerise doesn't have the content to match up for it, and it will also be more difficult for Cerise to get to the end because she can't win a challenge. So I think there's less of a world where Cerise makes the end than Parvati does. Luke is at 4. If a man wins this season, it's going to be Luke, 100%. Right? There's nobody else can win this season from the men outside of Luke. He's in a decent position. He's got an idol. Janine is always going to be an extra vote for him as long as she's in the game. So I think Luke can do some damage. Shawnee's at 5. I think I might switch Cass and Shawnee and put Cass at 5 and Shawnee at 6. Because Shawnee's in a lot of danger coming up. But I could see Shawnee get integrated into the Black Widow Brigade. So as long as she survives that vote coming up in the next episode, I think she's going to be in a solid spot to finally get a majority working for her. She's got the Kirby relationship, if that stays. So, I mean, Shawnee's in a decent spot. She's not cooked. Cass is in a great spot. I just don't like how quiet her edit is for somebody who is this powerful. That's why I have her in the middle. Maybe she breaks out, but I think for a season of this magnitude, we are going to have a strong winner's edit. We're not going to have somebody quiet take the victory. Lisa's at 7. She's the final, not completely cooked person. But again, kind of a goofy edit, kind of just the lackey of the Black Widow Brigade. Like, oh, go do this task, go distract Tony. I'm not sure if she's playing the game for herself at the moment. She may just be playing for Serene Parvati. And then the 4 cooked people, I have Sarah at 8 just because she's actually getting content. But again, I mean, we need her to... I want her to stay now. After this podcast, I want Sarah to stay as long as possible. But but I'm not sure if that's going to happen. Like, who the fuck is going to trust Sarah after all that's happened?
Janine and Luke because Sarah has been honest with them. Yay. She technically has.
What's on them?
Congratulations.
Yeah.
She's probably going to betray them as well in the next episode.
You're gonna
Listen to me. What Sarah is going to do is nothing that we say in this podcast. So as long as no one says she's going
I'm not prepared. I am not prepared for what Sarah's going to do next episode.
No, guys, listen, okay? Sarah is going to have a cross-tribal conversation with Tony, okay? She's going to give Tony the shoe
Is that
idol.
Sarah's shoe?
It's going to be Sarah's shoe.
Wait, what size was it?
Let me see how big
Have
that
any
is.
of you noticed Sarah's shoes in the opening episodes?
Oh, it's a pretty big
No.
shoe, though.
It's,
Sarah's foot must be big if that's Sarah's shoe. Models with big feet. Didn't know. Female models specifically.
You know
Anyway, I have
what?
Tony at 9. Again, same reason as Sarah. It's just that if Tony escapes this vote, he's got somewhat of a story going on. And I could see him survive a couple votes in the merge. Whereas with Tommy and Janine, who are my bottom 2, it's just that they're completely invisible. They're not a part of this season. I just can't see how this is a winning story for them. Janine is basically just a number for Luke. I could see her taken out in like a split vote situation. Luke plays the idol, Janine goes, something like that. And Tommy, yeah, Tommy's not going to survive for too long. Whether it's Tony in the next episode or Tommy, the other one will go soon as well, because the Black Widow Brigade is not going to leave anybody standing.
Listen to me, okay? The only reason Tommy does it is that Tommy and Sarah are going to be the imaginable. You wait, everybody. It's gonna happen. That's why he doesn't have an edit, because he's gonna get a whole episode of complaining about Sarah. And then I'm gonna get joked on even more.
Alright, I'll go over mine quickly. So, my rankings they kind of have edit included in them, but the main thing I'm looking at is positions. In last place, I have Tommy. I don't think Tommy's not in a good spot, and he doesn't have an edit. His only confessional is about the idol, so realistically, it's more so just a positive the Black Widow Brigade.
Yeah,
Enter
he got an
Janine.
idol confessional and then he doesn't even know about the idol.
No.
Yeah. 10th is Janine. Like we've said, Janine is kind of just playing for Luke to win. Not much to go on for Janine. 9 is Sarah, the true winner of Survivor Australia versus the world. I think she's just not playing good, man. I don't know how else to say it. I think Sarah maybe survives this tribal council, and that's about it. I think she maybe flips on Shawnee, but that's all I really see coming out of her. After that, everyone's just going to rat out everything Sarah has done for the past, like, how many days have gone on, and just Sarah's. If two people do in fact, and EG's theory is correct that it is two people going home and it's just one person making jury, Sarah's 100% maybe even a unanimous merge boot. I think she's gonna be a double unanimous boot. It is Tony. I give Tony credit and a bit of structure in the power rankings because Tony does have good reads on what's going on, and he is He's doing good with what he can. Obviously, he's just at a disadvantage. And like Siren said, if Tony does make merge, I think Tony does shoot up in the power rankings, which is crazy to say. It's fucking Tony. But that's the spot Tony's in right now. And if Tony does make a Titanic move and doesn't sink, then I have a good feeling about Tony. 7 is Lisa. I don't feel confident about Lisa, but she is in a good spot. She's close with Sari. I think the big thing is that I think if anyone goes home on the Black Widow Brigade, it's gonna be Lisa first. That's my take. I don't think anyone's gonna snipe Sari and Parvati. I think Parvati has a decent chance to win a few immunities. Cass has an idol. I think Lisa is gonna be the odd one out. And obviously she's just kind of stuck with Sari right now. 6 is Shawnee. Shawnee, I think if the big thing I see with Shawnee is that if she does survive this tribal, she's kind of in the same position as Tony, but like much better position than Tony is. Where if she does make merge, Shawnee's position skyrockets. I don't think anyone has reason to go after Shawnee. 5 Cass. Obviously her edit is Cass without the K. But she does have an idol. She has a chance to get 2 idols. And she is in a decent spot. She's close with the Black Widows. I mean, theoretically, there's no reason she shouldn't be close with Tommy. So I think if there's gonna be someone that has like a sandbag at it, but has actually played a good game, it's gonna be Cass. But I don't think she's winning. But she is still very good positioned. For Suri, I feel like if Suri had a better edit, she'd probably beat Kirby in the top 3. But I don't. Suri just doesn't have the edit maneuvering. Kirby's played incredible, easily best player of the week. Definitely, she's played phenomenally. She's played well. She is in a little danger next episode, but I feel like if she survives, she's in a good spot. 2 Luke. I feel like the top 2 I'm kind of locked in on for a while. Luke and Parvati. Luke's obviously not technically in a good spot, but he is still maneuvering well throughout the thing. I don't think Luke's gonna need immunity. I think Luke will be fine. He may cop a vote, but I feel like he's gonna go on. And I think amongst everyone, Luke has the best chance of getting an immunity run. So I feel like Luke is in a good spot. And then finally, Parvati, easily best positioned amongst everyone. So that's what I got. All right. Anything
And then
else you
Sarah
guys
at
want?
0.
Oh yeah, Sarah at 0. That's right.
Sarah 0. Sarah's gonna be the true winner of Kitchen because like I got that Antoine reference in my head.
That's what I
Survivor
think.
Australia versus the world.
One thing I'll say about Sarah is I was fine with her until episode 3. I liked Sarah episode 1 and 2. It was episode that bothered
I
me.
thought you complained
You liked Sarah episode 1? She wasn't even there.
I mean, she had like the whole I don't know whether or not I want to keep David thing, and then like being sad about it. And then like episode 3, it was like the whole if I lose an ally, you need to lose one. I was like, okay, you need to shut up, Sarah. Yep.
Anything else we want to talk about before we close this out? Siren, you got some parting words for Sarah?
No, I don't. All I'm gonna say is, if Parvati loses this, I need to see how.
Yeah.
Sarah, good luck. I is all I have to say.
I will say, I think I know how Parvati loses this. I'm gonna make this prediction. If Tony makes merge, Parvati loses the game. Genuinely. If Tony makes the merge, Parvati is screwed. That's my parting words.
Does Tony take Parvati out, you think?
What I think happens is Tony makes merge, and the Australian people are seeing this tribal as well. Immediately runs to them and starts screaming the words Black Widow Brigade 2.0.
If that happens, I think the GOAT debate officially ends.
I think he
Yeah.
has to. I mean, I think he has to run away and do that. I think that's his only way of winning. Is Tony just Tony
No.
can't.
Is that-
No, I mean his only way of winning. I'm saying specifically to Luke, by the way. Like going to Luke. Tony's only way of ever winning this game is working with Luke.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying you should go to every Australian and say that. That's a horrible idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
like go up.
before we close out, Siren, how about you check out the group chat and tell me what you think?
Make it the thumbnail, please.
Okay, I can find the difference between these two people. Yeah, there's one difference. It's wait, there is no difference. Never mind. I was gonna say I used to be cool with both of them, but there is no difference. I was cool with both of them at one point. There's no Okay, there is one difference. Sarah has done nothing to me. One of them. Now, if Sarah somehow eliminates Luke from this game, they have done something personally to me, and I will fight. That would be an episode. Okay.
So I think we're good to close out the episode. Thank you guys for checking this video out.
Thanks,
Tell us what you
Sarah.
thought about. Thanks, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah, for the content.
We should definitely send this. We should send this to Sarah.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna make a compilation of all the Siren Sarah crash outs, put it into a video.
I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with that. I'm not gonna hide it. Like, I don't understand Sarah. They're the type of player that bothers. Don't like players who don't have a backbone. It's like
Thank y'all for watching.
Siren, Siren,